You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, we'll take you to Ewart Park to meet some car enthusiasts.
Also, authorities in Branson start a death investigation after 2 people are found dead in an apartment.
And after some morning showers in parts of northeast Oklahoma, we have an absolutely gorgeous below normal Monday for us. More rain chances in the forecast. We'll look at all of that coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is just after 7 a.m. on this Monday morning, and if you didn't catch the KOAM side, boy, it has certainly been a Monday, but we have got our coffee going.
Yes.
The floor has had some coffee.
Everything's caffeinated.
Everything in this building is caffeinated at this point, so I think we've got a pretty good Monday from here on out. I think we are ready to go. And there was a car show this past weekend in Ewart Park.
Yes, exactly. So, car enthusiasts around the 4 states gathered at Ewart Park.
And KOAM's Anthony Saviello was there and has the story.
For car enthusiasts around the 4 states, the Joplin Emancipation Car Show is the perfect way to come together.
Oh, the people. It's the people. It's like it's a family here. You guys here, I know them for a long time and everything. They come back every year. They really appreciate what we do and everything. That's what it's all about.
The show contained classics, hot rods, and even some modern-day cars, all of which have one thing in common: the amount of care put in by their owners.
The car was mostly done when I bought the car, so it's just, I'm retired, just gives me something to play around with.
Well, it's a labor of love, because when you have an old car like this, you have to maintain it, and you should really know how to do it yourself as much as you can, because you never know when something might happen, and it's just a hobby.
A hobby that brings together some of the coolest cars in the area. Cars like Galen's 1972 Chevy Chevelle Malibu. He's owned it for 13 years and fully restored it to its original condition. Or even Jim's 1946 Chevy Street Rod that he has owned for 5 years. But more than just the cars, it brings together people who share love for these machines.
This is one of the best car shows. We always try to come to this one because the people are very friendly and they're very knowledgeable in their judging of the cars, and we just have a good time. It's just it's a real nice thing to do on a Sunday afternoon.
Well, I think just being with other owners of classic cars, just a lot of car talk going on, and it's Teddy puts on a good show. We always really enjoy. It's one of our favorite shows to come to, and it's always a fun day.
Passionate owners and unique cars, a combination that infects even the most modest of car owners, including myself. If only my wife would let me buy that Corvette. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Those who attended also got to enter in a raffle where over $3,000 worth of prizes were given out.
And we have got ourselves some showers still occurring in parts of northeastern Oklahoma. And that is part of this complex of showers and thunderstorms that, has just rolled. It's still Monday. It's getting us rolled through parts of Oklahoma as we've gone through the morning hours. We even had some severe weather with this activity, but south of our area, it's going to continue to push off to the southeast, and the majority of us will be dry through the morning, and all of us will be dry through the day, but we have more rain on the way. So let's take a look down the road. Now, our Monday last week and the week before, we spent nearly every day telling you stay indoors, do not go outside, it's too hot, it's too dangerous. So you probably have a lot of things outside that need to be done. Today is your day to do it. We are looking at mostly clear skies, below normal temperatures, an absolutely gorgeous Monday. And I guess Mother Nature is granting us this beautiful Monday in exchange for whatever has been going on in this building on this Monday, because as Caitlin mentioned, the whole building's caffeinated at this point. I don't know what's going on. And as we head through the rest of our Monday, it's going to be really good. Then as we head into the overnight hours, clouds begin to increase, and by Tuesday morning, we start to see some shower and thunderstorm activity activity. Now, a lot of this is going to be relatively isolated. It's going to be limited to certain areas, but some of those storms could be strong, low-grade severe with some gusty winds out there. We could additionally see an isolated shower or storm throughout Tuesday, and one or two of those could also be strong with some gusty winds, but the majority of us Tuesday will remain dry. It will be Wednesday. That's when we see better chances of storms. We're looking at one complex of thunderstorms. It could be strong, developing almost right on top of us and then pushing off to the north and to the east. And as it does so, if our atmosphere recovers enough, we've got a decent severe threat heading into Wednesday night and early Thursday morning, with strong damaging wind gusts being the primary concern. If our atmosphere does not recover, we'll still get storms, but the severe threat will be considerably lower. So for tomorrow, again, stray strong storm or two possible. And then Wednesday, we have that elevated risk right now. And we've had a severe weather threat highlighted for Wednesday for quite some time now. So it's something we'll keep a close eye on for you as we get a little bit closer. We'll have more on your complete forecast and how the rest of this week looks here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Branson police have started a death investigation. Detectives found 2 people dead inside an apartment. The property manager says she was called by a relative of one of the people here to do a welfare check. Once she opened the door, she says she saw 2 people dead and called police. Authorities say that at this time there's no foul play suspected, but that could change after the autopsy, which is scheduled for Monday. This is still an open investigation. And Joplin police are searching for a man seen vandalizing a store. It happened around 2:30 yesterday morning. Surveillance photos show the man seen here throwing a brick through the window of Mint Cove Clothing on Main Street. The owner of Mint Cove says the Creative Learning Alliance was also vandalized. If you can identify this man, you are asked to contact Joplin Police. And 2 people were injured after a crash near Seneca, Missouri this weekend. It happened just after 11 p.m. Saturday night at the intersection of State Highway U and State Line Road. Authorities say a car failed to yield to an SUV, T-boned it, and caused it to overturn. 2 people in the SUV were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No one in the car was hurt. The Delaware County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help in identifying a person seen stealing gas from the Cleora School District. These are surveillance images of the thief. Authorities say the person is thought to be a male. They can be seen walking around school property stealing gas from district-owned vehicles. If you have any information about the theft, you are asked to contact the Delaware County Sheriff's Office. Up next, Lori Horton joined us back in studio, and we're continuing to bring the spirit of summer with some s'more cookies.
And later, we'll meet a Missouri teen who helps pay off school lunches and gets a reward for doing that good deed. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back, but first, we got ourselves another live look from Big Spring Park in the O Show.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We're joined by Lori Horton, and we're continuing to make those s'mores cookies.
Yes.
Welcome back, Lori.
Thank you. Good
All right.
morning.
So we just left off, we have the dough pretty much in place.
Yes.
What are
So
next
we
steps?
started out with creaming those soft ingredients, our butters, our sugars, our eggs. We added in all of those dry ingredients, all the flour, the baking soda, baking powder, cornstarch, salt, all of that good stuff. And we just incorporated that into what is actually a pretty thick, a pretty dense dough.
Yes.
So now what we're going to add to that is the rest of our goodies. So
Okay.
our graham cracker crumbs are already in here. That went in with our flour. So there's the first part of our s'more.
There we go.
Right? Now we got to get our candy bar. So we're going to add chocolate chips to add that
Yum.
chocolate to that. So we're going to add those a little bit at a time. And if you were watching in the 6 o'clock hour on KOAM, we talked about our marshmallows. And I'm
Yes.
using like a freeze-dried marshmallow. These are actually some Lucky Charms marshmallows.
That's what I was gonna
that
say. They
have.
look
They're
like that
very
cereal we
colorful,
all know.
Very fun. Yes, copyright infringement not intended, but they're just really cute, and they'll add a little color to that. But we can use regular mini marshmallows. If you use a standard marshmallow, they are going to be a little meltier, a little softer.
Yeah, sticky and
Yeah,
cool.
a little
So this is
sticky.
good for the consistency that we're looking for here.
Makes them a little bit less messy, but
That's how we get our s'mores.
Also makes it really important that when we bake these, we're going to put them on parchment paper on our cookie sheet so that that doesn't scorch or burn on the cookie sheet. So we're just going to add those in there, and this is going to take a little bit of elbow grease. So this is something where mom and dad's got to get involved. This is not going to be something the kids can probably handle. A little bit. I'm a professional. Don't worry.
Yes, she is. I love it. And so, will these actually taste like the s'mores that you have by a bonfire?
Well, let me tell you, they're going to be a little bit more contained than that, a little bit less messy, but yes, they absolutely do. They're kind of like the best chocolate chip cookie that you've ever had, with some add-on bonuses there. So once we get all of these mixed in there, and we would add in this whole amount, it's quite a bit of the chocolate chips and the marshmallows. We're going to spoon these out, and we're going to do that with a scoop because, again, it's a really dense dough, so we need to have that. It makes it a little more consistent. And just to add to our Monday morning, I will mention to our viewers that we don't have a cookie sheet this morning because somebody left that at home. So it is in the air. I blame it on you guys. I had no idea. But we still want to make sure we use that parchment paper. And we, of course, would put this on a cookie sheet to make it a little bit easier to transport back and forth to the oven.
Absolutely. But just a good old-fashioned ice cream scoop will give you the
good old
perfect
ice cream
cookie.
scoop. Absolutely. This one is a little bit bigger than just a cookie scoop, so I like the ice cream scoop for that. And then we're going to actually take that out of the scoop, and we want to roll it just a little bit.
Okay.
And this is really important if you're using those regular marshmallows because you want to make sure that they are really sealed into the dough.
Okay.
That'll help a little bit with that messiness of it. So if you're using the freeze-dried, you can kind of just lightly do it. If you're using the regular, really coat them up. You're going to put these on your cookie sheet about 2 inches apart. Bake them for about 10 minutes at 350 degrees.
Wonderful. Well, we'll come back for the final phases of these s'more cookies. Stay tuned.
And welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:16 now on this Monday morning, and it has been a Monday here at the KOAM studio, so hopefully your Monday goes a little bit smoother than ours has. We got partly cloudy skies in Joplin right now, 67 degrees. Everybody's heading out to work on this beautiful day. This is actually the perfect day to call in. So if you haven't started your day yet, make sure you take time to tell your boss how sick you are because it's going to be a gorgeous day out there. We got 63 in Iola, 67 Neodesha, Chanute, Parsons, Miami, 66 Chatopa, Carthage, Lamar, Nevada, and 73 down in Anderson. As we get our morning started, we still have a few of those lingering showers, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder into northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas. The rest of us dry. Clouds will begin to clear, and we will go into the mid-70s by late morning. Highs today, low to mid-80s, maybe even a couple of upper 80-degree readings, but regardless, that's all below normal for this time of year. So if you've got some stuff you couldn't do over the last couple of weeks from the heat, today's the day to do it. We go into the evening, clear skies, beautiful evening, 70s out there. Go mow the lawn, go sit on the porch, drink some lemonade, whatever you want to do, because it's going to be great. Overnight lows mid to upper 60s. And we have our morning thunderstorm chances Tuesday. A couple of strong storms possible, some gusty winds. Keep an eye on that for you. More strong storms possible early Wednesday morning. And then we're watching the possibility of some severe weather as we head into Wednesday evening in the overnight hours. So we'll keep an eye on that for you as well. Otherwise, storm chances again by the end of the week and temperatures returning to seasonable levels in the low to mid 90s. Well, a Missouri teenager whose story went viral after he paid the lunch debts of students at his school is getting recognition, praise, and a generous reward for his actions. Melanie Johnson has more on 14-year-old DeJuan Strickland's story.
Yeah, I'm trying not to cry.
14-year-old DeJuan Strickland overwhelmed by gratefulness of each dollar donated to help kids like him have a meal at the lunch table.
I know all those kids are going to be really happy. This.
Hazelwood resident Yolanda Duncan saw the story on News 4.
He felt the pain when he was in the 4th grade that he couldn't eat and to watch somebody else to eat.
And on Thursday wanted to thank the teen in her own way.
I have this package that you paid off the students' lunch debt. I wanted to give it back to you.
Giving him a personal check to match the donation DeJuan gave McCurdy Elementary School to pay off every student's negative lunch balance.
Well, I'm in shock. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I am mind blown that Yeah, this was just originally just an idea because I wanted to help kids out who couldn't pay for school lunches, and seeing this now, I really want to thank you and thank everyone who's helped to contribute.
I've never had that challenge in my life. If I didn't eat, it was because I didn't want to eat. So I said, this is a positive black boy doing something in the community.
After hearing DeJuan's story, News 4 decided to dig deeper into this problem and find out how much money students owe in other districts. In Parkway schools, students owe a combined $54,000 in unpaid meals. In Rockwood, student meal debt is over $18,000. In the Clayton School District, that negative balance is just over $4,000.
DeJuan is going to be successful because he's going to inspire other kids when they see him on TV and say, well, I could do that.
It really will help to make change at Hazelwood School District, and when we continue this more at all schools.
A teenager with a big heart to save one child. The feeling of hunger he has experienced has grown into an act of kindness that has rubbed off on others.
I am only one person, but when everyone starts coming together to start doing this too, it will spark some change.
A mission for change he plans to donate to every year to fight against food insecurity in schools near and far.
Certainly an inspiring story, and hopefully it does encourage others to continue to do the same thing and help pay off some of those lunch debts. So as we mentioned, the kids don't have to worry about going hungry at school. We'll be right back after this, but first we're going to head back down to Neosho for another live look from Big Spring Park.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We're once again joined by Lori Horton, and we're putting the final touches on these s'more cookies.
Yes, we're going to finish these up in our last segment this
All
morning,
right.
so you guys are ready to roll. So again, we've got our dough here, very dense on that. So all I did was kind of scoop that out, and the freeze-dried marshmallows make it easy for a lot of reasons, but they also kind of break apart easier. So with your regular marshmallows, they tend to be a little gooey. These I can cut through easily and get those pieces in there. But it is sort of important to roll that dough just a little bit before you put it on the cookie sheet, or if you had a cookie sheet, you would put it on there.
All right.
And on that parchment, we preheated the oven to 350 degrees.
Okay.
And then we're going to bake these for about spot on 10 minutes. Now, it was a little bit, different weather this morning than we've had. So mine actually I baked for about 10 and a half, almost 11 minutes. But you want a nice light golden brown on the top. And then it's just going to be a really nice puffy cookie when they come out of the oven, and then they'll settle just a little bit as they cool. And you're going to leave them on that parchment until they are totally cool, because they're going to be pretty gooey between the chocolate chips and the marshmallows. You want to let them cool completely before you handle them too much, although I do highly recommend a bite or two while they're really warm out of the oven.
Absolutely.
So what we end up with, and we talked about in our first segment, was why we put that baking soda and baking powder in a cookie along with that cornstarch and salt, is it gives us a pretty thick cookie. You'll notice this is like a little bit,
got a little meat on its
heavier.
bones.
It does, and it's still a puffy cookie, but when we break it, it's still really chewy and soft.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of fun with
the
those Lucky Charms
marshmallows.
marshmallows. We get that color in there, which is a little bit different. So it's just kind of fun. But you can kind of mix this up a little bit. So we could change this up from a s'more to a Rocky Road cookie, add those chopped up peanuts and the marshmallows as well. The graham crackers are always a good addition. But you've got kind of some options on there. You can mix up your chocolate chip flavors. We've talked about in other segments before where there's such a variety of chocolate chips available out there now. You've got espresso, white chocolate, cream cheese, peanut butter. You can really have some fun with the types of chocolate chips that you put in there. They don't have to be chocolate at all. So really have a little bit of fun and tailor these to your taste and your family taste. And then keep them for about 2 to 3 days in a sealed bag. Eat them up quick. There's usually not leftovers.
I love that. All the fun of summer right here in a cookie. You don't even need the bonfire to have your s'mores.
You don't.
In a nice, delicious way. Well, thank you so much, Lori, for coming
You're
in.
welcome.
And we look forward to you coming back and showing us more of your great recipes.
Another sweet Monday.
All right. Well, stick around. We'll be right back with more news.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29 a.m. And the Springfield Library System is using new rules for issuing minors library cards to follow the Missouri's new rules from the Secretary of State's office. Until now, kids could sign up for temporary cards without a parent present, but all of those temp cards have been deactivated. Now parents must come in with their child and sign up for the card in person, or parents must sign a permission slip before a child can receive a card. Kids in Miami got the chance to show off their skills as trainers as they competed in the Ottawa County Fair Dog Show. Competitors from ages 7 to 18 showed off their skills and the training of their pups in events like Showcase, Obedience, and Agility. 18-year-old Alexis and her poodle Mocha are breaking in their first year competing with each other.
It takes a lot of patience. It teaches you how to deal with different situations. Like if your dog is scared of a teeter-totter, then it's different than if they just don't listen.
Alexis has been competing for 7 years and hopes to continue working with animals as a career. The Joplin Pop Culture Convention, or JomoCon, took place Saturday at the Spiva Center for the Arts. The convention is a great way for local fans of gaming, anime, comics, and more to come together. The event was also welcomed by local artists to show their talents and be a part of the fun.
I don't want to become gigantic. I mean, one of the reasons we did this is because not everyone can drive to Kansas City and pay $100 to go to the big ones, right? So we want to let it grow and become sustainable and stay unique with bringing in the local culture as well as the anime and gaming and all that stuff. Yeah, we just want to keep perfecting it and bringing stuff that will give people in this area a reason to come together and hang out.
The event also raised money through ticket sales for the Children's Center of Southwest Missouri.
Well, we've still got a few stray showers in parts of northeast Oklahoma this morning on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. The rain that you're seeing that's kind of hovering around the radar sites in Springfield and Wichita is not actually happening, but this is, and it's been part of this complex that's been rolling out of southwestern Kansas, now into eastern Oklahoma and northwestern Arkansas. Had some thunderstorms out of it, even severe weather across parts of Oklahoma, but none in our area. And we're going to start to clear out, and we're going to be dry today. Today is a great day to catch up on things you couldn't do while it was so hot, because we're looking at temperatures low to mid 80s, maybe even some upper 80s here and there, but one way or another, that's all still below average. Now, as we head into the evening, clouds will begin to increase overnight, and then by tomorrow morning, we're going to see a few scattered thunderstorm chances out there, and some of those could be strong with the possibility of some gusty winds as we head through Tuesday morning. Into the afternoon, a couple of pop-up storms are possible. Those could also be strong with maybe some gusty winds, but those will be very isolated. It'll be Wednesday early morning. We see one batch of thunderstorms develop almost right on top of us, and it moves on out. And then if our atmosphere recovers enough, we could see some severe weather as we go into Wednesday evening and into the overnight hours, with damaging wind gusts possible as well. So we're going to keep an eye on Wednesday's severe weather threat for you, and of course we'll monitor tomorrow's strong storms, and we'll have another full look at your forecast in the week ahead here in a few more minutes. Caitlin?
The Miser Shiners in Pittsburgh put together an event to help support their organization. With a $20 donation, you were able to come in and participate in multiple mini games for a chance to win one of the over 100 prizes offered.
Ask any Mason or any Shriner. You got to become a Mason before you can be a Shriner. So any Shriner would be glad to help you get involved, get you started. All you got to do is ask one.
The Shriners organization is involved in many medical centers in the area and seeks to provide help to those in need. Competitors from around the 4 states and even some further away gathered at the Frisco Trail in Joplin to compete in the Eliminator Run. Competitors run 3 miles every 45 minutes until they are unable to continue. While many do it to either stay in shape or to help train themselves, some have a deeper reason for pushing their body to the limit.
I was active duty in the Army for 10.5 years, and I lost a lot of brothers and sisters. And we lost close friends, and I run because they can no longer run. And I run for those who came home not in one piece and not whole. And so I run for them.
Heather was able to have her daughter, who is current active duty military, be there as support during her race. We thank them both for their service. And the Miners Hall Museum brought in a guest speaker yesterday to talk about researching your home. The presentation talked about discovering the history of your home, your business, or even your farmland.
what I am doing is helping people learn how to do that actual research, which can be intimidating if you've never done it before. So we'll be talking about all of the resources that are available, a lot of which are available online. You don't even have to leave your house or get out of your pajamas. And then also about how to take that information and make it into a narrative.
If you'd like more information on how to do research for your home, you can visit the Miners Hall Museum during their open business hours. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, Julie Crow and Cindy Evans stop by the studio to tell us all about Carl Junction's second Tuesday in the Park.
And we're watching the possibility of some strong thunderstorms tomorrow morning and maybe some severe weather by Wednesday. We'll take another look at your forecast right after this. But first, here's a live look from Big Spring Park in the O-Show. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Join us in studio today to talk about Second Tuesday in the Park. Julie Crow and Cindy Evans from the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for coming in this morning. And we've been featuring Second Tuesday in the Park for a while. We were talking about how it seems like each time this comes up, there's more people attending than the last one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. There is.
What's that like for y'all to see this continue to grow and, from what I've been gathering, to grow as quickly as it is?
It's great. You know, I love seeing everybody from the community just come out and gather together at these events, and seeing that they grow every month and every year has just been fantastic.
And tell me a little bit about the one that's coming up. I know they're fairly similar, but there's some different things that happen at each one. What's going on at this one?
Yeah, so this one, the theme is the Great Outdoors. It's sponsored by Kyle Hickam State Farm. And so a lot of new vendors are actually there. Some are bringing things that, they're selling, things they're giving away, or new games that they're going to play with the community. So it's awesome. It's going to be fun.
And of course, you've got the new splash pad out there, and I imagine that's been a big success with the heat we've been having.
It has.
Lately.
It's been a hit. It's been a hit. Every month that we've had it so far, it's been packed over there, and then they kind of filter into our event, so it's great.
And you've got, it says here, over 20 local vendors and 5 food trucks, plus live music. I mean, this is turning into a really big deal for Carl Junction.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. There's a lot of, like I said, we have the 5 trucks and over 20 vendors. There's a lot of different types of vendors out there, which is great for people when they come out. They can, see a lot of different businesses and visit with a lot of different people. So.
And then, we were talking, it's hard to measure, how many folks from outside CJ are coming in. But, I mean, would you be willing to bet that there are some folks from outside the Carl Junction area that are coming in and discovering the community?
Yeah, we're constantly hearing it that, other people are like, we didn't even realize you had a splash pad, because they're from, Joplin or Neosho or even Carthage and Webb City. So there's so many people that will even call, on Wednesday after we had it, and they're like, we can't wait till next month, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a big deal.
And I mean, how does that help the community too, with people discovering Carl Junction? Because if you're coming up 171, you see the signs, but it's offset. You don't really see CJ from the highway.
Yeah.
And you're giving them a reason to come into town. Is that helping the local businesses grow just in general? Folks coming in and go, oh, hey, I didn't know they had that here. And they come back just to go shopping.
Yeah, I definitely think it helps put us on the map.
Yep.
Whether it's businesses or just our community in general, it definitely helps let people know that, hey, we're here. We've got a lot to offer. So, yeah.
Fantastic. So, real quick recap. When is this taking place, and what do folks need to know?
It's tomorrow, August 8th from 4 to 7 at Memorial Park in CJ.
All right, sounds like fun. And like I said, I know these things keep growing, so we look forward to seeing you there. I know these ladies look forward to seeing you there, and we will have more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It is 7:42 on this Monday morning. We've still got some clouds out there in the Joplin area from the showers in northeastern Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas that are rolling on out of here. But look at this temperature. It is wonderful. We are sitting at 67. We look at temperatures around the area. It's looking like spring or fall in terms of these temperatures. We've got 63 Iola, been the cool spot all morning long. We got 66 Fort Scott, Nevada, Stockton, Pittsburgh, 67s in Neodesha, Chinook, Parsons. and Miami, 66 in Chetopa, and 65 over in Monette. As we get our morning started, we still got a few of those stray showers, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder, northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas. The rest of us will remain dry, and as they continue to shift off to the south and to the east, our skies will begin to clear. We're going to go mid-70s by late morning. As we head into the afternoon, we're looking at highs low to mid-80s, maybe some upper 80-degree readings here and there, but all of those temperatures below average for this time of year, and I don't think there's anybody complaining about that after the triple digits we've seen over the last couple of weeks. We'll have mostly clear skies. Great opportunity to get out there, catch up on some yard work because it was just too hot and too dangerous to do it last week. Got a great evening ahead of us too. Clear skies into the 70s. Clouds will begin to increase overnight though as we go back in the mid to upper 60s, and that's ahead of some thunderstorm chances Tuesday. Best chances in the morning, and a couple of those could be strong, low-grade severe with some gusty winds. Our temperatures return to seasonable levels. So yeah, it's hot, but not that bad as we go back low to mid-90s. We're watching the potential for some severe thunderstorms as we go into Wednesday evening and overnight, and then we'll take a break Thursday and more thunderstorm chances as we close out the week. That's a check of your forecast. Now we're sending it over to Caitlin for Consumer Watch.
Thanks, Cross. Well, in Consumer Watch this morning, Taylor Swift's record-breaking Eras Tour is coming to an end in the U.S. for now. The widely successful tour could gross over $1 billion when it's done. It has also been a major boost to local economies. Camila Bernal has more.
Welcome to the Eras Tour. It's the words millions, including Julie Barfus, were waiting to hear. And it was a dream come true.
I'm trying to stick these crystals on.
But 9 months ago, she thought those dreams had been crushed.
I was crying. I was really upset, because it was just so long. And every time you'd get in, you'd get kicked out or get an error or something would go wrong. And it was just like nonstop drama.
Despite multiple tries, she wasn't able to get her tickets through Ticketmaster. She eventually bought them from another fan. 2 tickets for $600, then $100 on parking, almost $400 on gas. She drove from Salt Lake City to Santa Clara, California, about $700 on a hotel.
Ta-da!
More than $300 on meals.
Got matching.
And $200 on her outfit and makeup.
The multiplier effect is just enormous, and it's a new phenomenon. It's not even compared. Super Bowl doesn't compare to this.
Sanjay Sharma, professor of finance at the University of Southern California, has been studying and estimating the Taylor Swift numbers. He says he could see the Eras Tour being what he called a $5 billion GDP type tour.
So that includes ticket sales, that includes hotels, that includes all of the small shopkeepers.
He says quantifying it is hard, but points out that the money stays in the U.S., boosting local economies. And it's happening from California to Massachusetts, Pennsylvania to the Plains.
We kind of think this is the quintessential welcome.
The U.S. and soon the world benefiting from the Taylor Swift economic. And it's the Swifties, the faithful fans, who often don't hesitate to spend.
Do you want a trade bracelet?
For Julie, it's not about the money, and it's not just the tour.
This one has the date, Eras Tour.
She's embarked on a long-term mission against Ticketmaster and has sued over her experience when purchasing tickets. That will entail more money on travel, hotels, meals, money she says is worth it.
The attorneys representing Ticketmaster did not want to comment, but the company has apologized to Taylor Swift and to the fans. We'll be right back with more after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. His voice moved a generation. Now you could own a piece of history.
As hundreds of items once belonging to Queen's Freddie Mercury are about to hit the auction block, Marianne Rafferty takes a special look at the objects that are sure to rock you.
Music lovers, listen up. Hundreds of items from one of rock and roll's most iconic frontmen are going up for auction, with fans of Freddie Mercury getting ready for their chance to bid on his rare personal possessions.
This is an exceptional moment.
The objects are currently on public display at Sotheby's in London.
We've tried to create snapshots of his private world, his home, garden lodge.
Among them are many of Mercury's costumes, including this red cape and crown he wore during his last performance with Queen in 1986.
It's about his own history, the moments in his career, his professional career as the great stage master.
Meanwhile, his handwritten draft of Bohemian Rhapsody is expected to sell for up to $1.5 million.
This was the way through which he expressed his creativity.
But auctioneers say the real showstopper is Mercury's baby grand piano, which could go for nearly $4 million.
There is no doubt that the piano is the item that meant the most to him, because this was his composing instrument.
Some of Mercury's art collection could also be yours, including works by Pablo Picasso and Salvador Dali.
I think he'd approve of the auction.
The items were left to Mercury's close friend Mary Austin after his death. Auctioneers say she spent decades carefully ensuring their safety.
They were never meant to be in a museum. Freddie was very clear about that.
The items will remain on display until September.
And then they'll be divided up and sold during 6 different auctions. I was telling them I want the silver revealing shirt, the crown, and the big robe.
Yes.
Just for the morning show, just for the purpose of doing the morning show.
I'm sure our viewers would love that.
I'm sure they would for a minute. A half minute, perhaps. Well, something else they're going to love is the fact that we got 2 great pieces of information for our news. We've got ourselves a beautiful start to our Monday. Now you can see from the MoDOT camera 32nd and range line that we have got ourselves some mostly cloudy skies on the southern end of the city, but we look back to the north, not same, as we've got clouds again building around the area off of this batch of showers and thunderstorms across Oklahoma that is continuing to roll on out of here. Still getting a few stray showers in parts of northeast Oklahoma, but that is really about it. We again will remain clear today, and then we've got the possibility of a couple of strong storms as we go into Tuesday morning and possibly into the afternoon. These are limited chances of storms overall, but if we see any, some gusty winds will be possible. Excuse me. And we still have that elevated risk of severe weather for us on Wednesday, with damaging wind gusts being the primary concern. So a couple of points that we are keeping an eye on as we go through the next couple of days. We'll have another look at your forecast and news you need to know right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Branson police have started a death investigation. Detectives found 2 people dead inside an apartment. The property manager says she was called by a relative of one of the people here to do a welfare check. When she opened the door, she said she saw 2 people dead and called police. Authorities say that at this time there's no foul play suspected, but that could change after the autopsy, which is scheduled for Monday. This is still an open investigation. And Joplin police are searching for a man seen vandalizing a store. It happened around 2:30 yesterday morning. Surveillance photos show the man seen here throwing a brick through the window of Mint Cove Clothing on Main Street. The owner of Mint Cove says the Creative Learning Alliance was also vandalized. If you can identify this man, you are asked to contact Joplin police. And the Joplin Pop Culture Convention, or JomoCon, took place Saturday at the Spiva Center for the Arts. The convention is a great way for local fans of gaming, anime, comics, and more to come together. The event also welcomed local artists to show their talents and be a part of the fun. The event raised money through ticket sales for the Children's Center of Southwest Missouri. Kids in Miami got the chance to show off their skills as trainers as they competed in the Ottawa County Fair Dog Show. Competitors from ages 7 to 18 showed off their skills in the training of their pups in events like Showcase, Obedience, and Agility. 18-year-old Alexis and her poodle Mocha are breaking in their first year competing with each other. Alexis has been competing for 7 years and hopes to continue working with animals as a career.
We've got ourselves a beautiful Monday across the area, mostly clear skies, low to mid 80s for the most part, a couple upper 80-degree readings possible, so still below normal for this time of year. Great evening as well, clear skies, 70s, overnight lows mid to upper 60s. Clouds increase overnight ahead of some thunderstorm chances tomorrow morning. A couple of those could be strong with gusty winds, but what we're really watching is Wednesday evening and overnight for the potential for some severe weather with damaging wind gusts out there, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. Otherwise, temperatures return to seasonable levels, low to mid 90s.
All right, well, move over Barbenheimer. There's a new mashup in town. Upcoming board game, Monopoly Scrabble.
That's an interesting combination. Well, instead of rolling dice to move around the board, players build words and move ahead according to their score. If you build a word on a premium space, you claim a property. The winner is the player with the highest total of cash and property value when the last letter tile is played.
Under license from Hasbro, toy and game company Winning Games will launch the game in the fall.
As if Monopoly wasn't a long enough and difficult enough game where you end up like becoming almost homicidal at the end of the game. Now we're going to throw Scrabble in there where we're going to argue over whether or not what you just put out is a real word or not.
Yes, that's true.
So we're talking this game is going to last for days.
This is going to be a real hostile environment by the end of it.
I am not picking up on that one. All right, well, if you enjoy it and enjoy violence, I guess, go get that game when it comes out. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.